Hi, David from Advantage here. My turn in the hot seat today to give you the Advantage Daily Update. So obviously things have changed again in the last 24 hours with the government essentially putting the country on lockdown. And no doubt this will have a much bigger impact on many of our members' businesses, being forced now to pretty much work from home. And whilst essential rebooking and repatriation processes are still underway, it is worth noting that it's vitally important to get the message out to your customers that whilst your business locations may well be closed, you as a business are still very much open. We've created some assets for you to use to help communicate that. And it's also worth reiterating that here at Advantage we are very much here to support you, and we're doing everything we possibly can to help interpret much of the industry and government news that is coming out to make it much easier for you to understand what this actually means to your business. I wanted to just quickly give you an overview as to what our communication strategy is right now. So from our point of view, it's very much about us consolidating both the industry and government news and picking out the pieces that are vitally important to your business and making that information available to you on things like the members extranet. The other thing we're doing is trying not to bombard you with too many emails and really picking the relevant information to send to you and mixing the channels of communication up. So for example, these daily video updates will hopefully be more engaging and useful to you than sending you a lot more emails. Whilst the communication strategy is there to inform you, another thing we have decided to do is revisit the Count on Us strapline and campaign idea that we launched last year after the demise of Thomas Cook. We will be using that throughout the coming days to create more assets for you, as we feel it's a great way for you to group your communications together and make them more meaningful to your customers, for you to be able to demonstrate various different ways that they can count on you to offer them support, to help them through their rebookings and repatriations, but also to give them some advice around when it's safe to travel, where it's safe to travel to, and when things will start to become back online. Okay, some other areas to think about in terms of your comms and what to communicate out to your customers. So something that's obviously really important right now, following the advice last night, is that whilst your shop, store, office may well be closed and you're working from home, your business is very much open. We put some assets together that are available on the members intranet to help with that, to help communicate it. But even if you don't use them, that message right now is something you should really be focusing on to make sure your customers are aware that it's not necessarily business as usual, but business is open. The other thing is to communicate things about the refund and rebooking process, but also the importance and the options available to not have to necessarily cancel your holiday or cancel your travel plans, and how you can actually postpone those bookings to protect the future bookings that you have in place. Another area to think about in terms of content is aspirational messages. So not necessarily to focus on a particular deal, but to start getting people thinking about, whilst they're at home working, to think about the types of holidays that they might want to look to book in the future. So this could be content around a particular destination or a holiday type, whether it's blog content or whether it's a review of a particular resort. It's looking at the resource that you have internally, and I'm sure there's plenty of you that have been on fan trips in recent months that you can pull from to create some reviews, and even look to see whether you can generate some user-generated content. So getting your customers engaged in your conversation to get them to review some of the holidays that they've been on in the past. Another area which I think is quite topical right now is the area around homeschooling. Now, this is an area that is going to cause additional stress at home, but it doesn't necessarily need to be too much of an arduous task, and it could very much be linked to travel, making that homeschooling or an element of homeschooling really, really fun. So that is an area that we are also looking to help pull some assets together on. We did this a few years ago with a fun puzzle sheet that was well received by members, and we're currently putting that back together now, modernising it, redesigning it, and that will be available again on the members intranet shortly, and we will continue to look at how else we can support you in that area. So it's also worth considering whether there is an opportunity right now to be looking to the future and seeing what you can do to improve your marketing opportunities when the time is right. Some examples there are reviewing your website content and seeing whether you can build out some destination pages or relevant information pages that will help entice customers in the future to book with you. We are aware that some members, for example, don't have any email marketing functionality in place. So this could be a good opportunity to look at that and set something up using something like MailChimp to set up a regular newsletter out to your customers. And then looking at customer data. So is there an opportunity now to take the time to review the quality of contacts you've got on your back office that you can use to contact your customers? Things like opt-in flags, whether email addresses are present for your customers or not, and how could you go about potentially filling in some of those blanks to increase the opportunity that you have when the comeback campaign does come around. Just briefly touching on PR, so this is important both for us at Advantage on an industry scale, but it's also really important on a local level for you within your local community. There doesn't necessarily need to be budget here to make the best use of PR. For example, we're seeing a lot of members doing some great acts of kindness, and that alone will create some word of mouth PR in your local community. It's also worth considering that, if you are doing things like that, or even have some great stories about the lengths you've gone to repatriate people back home, that kind of news will be interesting for your local newspaper or things like parish magazines, etc. So if you do have a great story, it is worth just taking a few minutes to find the contact, the editor of the local newspaper, etc., dropping them a line. They are going to be crying out for content right now. So this is an area that you could help them with and obviously get some additional exposure off the back of. So you probably have heard Julia and Kelly and their updates talk around the members intranet and the COVID hub that's there with all the information. We have been updating that and making it much easier to navigate, and there is an abundance of information there now along the lines of supplier information, both corporate and leisure, that's been updated daily by the commercial team. There's the marketing support and assets that we've created for you to download in your own marketing. There's a section on business operational support. So this is taking some of the things that the government have been putting in place with regards to loan bridges, rent breaks, etc., and you'll find some information there to help you understand some of that information in more detail. There's a roundup of the Advantage communications, so you can access these videos there, for example, and there's a section on mental health and well-being, an area that a lot of members are asking for some help and advice on. So we're putting together some resources there for you to be able to help your staff and help yourselves in that area. From a marketing point of view, there are a wide range of downloadable assets that are currently available on that hub. Social, email and website banners spanning a number of campaigns, and they will be and we will be continuing to add to that over the course of time. So please visit there. In particular, right now it's worth accessing the marketing assets around the store closures and how your business is still open. There's some posters that you can put up in your shop window, but also some digital assets to help get that message out to your customers now, which is vitally important. The final thing that we're working on, well, not final thing, but the other thing we're working on is the comeback campaign. So we know it's going to happen, it's just when, but we're making sure that we pull together a wide-reaching campaign across multiple channels that you can access and really help instigate some decent booking inquiry when that time comes. So please keep checking back on that hub and we will continue to put information in there. So So I just want to give 3 quick takeaways to summarise today's video message. The first is don't stop your marketing, just change the message and the content, but be mindful not to overdo things, keep the pace right so you're not spamming your customers. Number 2 is mix up your communications and the content that's within them. Make sure it stays relevant and interesting, and then you will find your customers will engage with it. And thirdly is to take the time to review your current marketing and get ready for when that comeback campaign actually happens.